Airwalker GT and everybody, welcome in. Hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. It's me, DIGI Driver. We're doing some scenery dev tonight. Yes, we are. We're going back to Lafayette in Louisiana. Kilo Lima Foxtrot Tango. I'm just going to do a really quick stream or try to make it as quick and as thorough as possible. Today was a fast day. Today was a day. I'm grateful for it. Grateful to be gainfully employed. But I'm also grateful to be chilling for a little bit. And grateful to get back into some scenery dev. And also to actually have turned on my Bing, map enhancement mod before I turned the sim on. All right. So we're gonna go to Lafayette. And we're gonna get signed in. Not signed in, but we're gonna go there. We got work to do. We got work to do, boys and girls. We got work to do. Oops. I'm probably gonna have to restart the sim. Or plug in my joystick and taxi back to the parking spot because I've spawned in on the runway. I know it's horrible. Terrible. But hello everybody, hopefully you're doing okay. Hanging out with Mrs. DIGI and hanging out with one of my cats who wants to get into everything, all the things, and is literally sitting on my desk right now, right in front of me, as we prepare to go into the simulator. Actually, that's good. I thought it was actually going to spawn me on the runway. I'm glad it didn't, because now I can put my joystick away. Yay! Now, don't get it twisted. I still like to fly in a sim. It's just that tonight is a dev night. So, let me get to work. Let's jump in. And actually, before I do that, let me jump back into my other screen. And there we go. That should do it. Alright, we're going to go load the airport. We're going to load in. We're going to start doing some more work. And I appreciate everybody stopping by tonight to say hi. If you like to lurk, welcome. I appreciate my lurkers. You guys, bring up the channel algorithm. And to those folks who like to chat, thank you very much. I like having you guys here to chat with. In the meantime, let me go ahead and set up my view a little bit better. I guess I can just do that every once in a while. But, alright. Let me change the view and go to top-down camera, and I will share with you what I've done so far. So we are working on Lafayette Regional, Paul Freire Field. We have lots of work to do and to finish. I am better than I deserve, my friend, and I appreciate having you aboard for a little bit of company. I would like to say I'm doing super, circumstances aren't the best, but for a lot of people that are even way, way worse off than I am, my heart goes out to everyone affected by, recent weather-related, disasters or loss of life and property. And my hope is that we can get back to a better way really soon. I'm not sure when or how it's going to take place, but one step at a time. And my prayer is that everyone affected does get better soon in Jesus' name. But I, fortunately, am really in a good spot right now. Things aren't the best, but we'll take what we can. I have done work on runways for this airport. It might be difficult to see because the scenery display settings that I have makes it difficult to see certain amounts of detail, but I have worked on the main runways, the alternate weird east-west runway that basically has absolutely no markings, which is really strange, but it has a lot of patches, which I've added in. Actually, matter of fact, let me take a moment to go over them. Okay, no, I think these guys have a little bit of fade to them, so I might actually keep them where they are for now. I'm not going to worry about the runaway. I got to worry about. I have to think about getting the rest of the things built up. What's the matter, girl? My cat's meowing. She likes attention. She likes attention. So this area that you see here, this is actually a separate general aviation area. The terminal now, at least for the moment, seems to have a blast fence and a rather inaccessible chunk of asphalt, which you could theoretically navigate if you really wanted to. But considering there's, jet traffic here and potentially, slightly bigger than the 737 jet traffic here, I'm not sure if you'd want to go traipsing around in a C-152 and potentially get knocked back by takeoff turbulence. So, you know, best to stay here for now. But with that said, let me see what else I can do. The aprons that I've laid down actually represent the new taxiways that are here or that are going to be here. So what I need to do is get cracking on building the rest of the taxiways. Probably like building this guy right here. So what I can probably do is one of two things. I can create two layers right on top of each other, which are going to represent this piece of asphalt and concrete. And then I can do the same with this side, more or less. And this side will probably be under the apron, which you see right in front of you. What's the priority here? This one's priority 0. I might make this priority 1 and then put the asphalt underneath it. So let me change the priority here. That will help you when you are working with layers. Priority is important. So let's start working on this piece right here. So going into apron, we're going to grab one-click placing default, which means you can shape it, and then we'll start working on this immediately. Hang on, guys. I need to put you on. Be right back for a moment to look at something. Stand by. Still here, just looking at something. All right, there we go. I am good. We should be able to switch back. And here we are. So let's get back to laying down some tarmac here. The concept is very simple. Just get some lines down. Don't freak out. Do the best you can. And realize, to an extent, what you're doing is really no different than what a lot of, humans do when they put down road cover. They do, less than perfect work. That's just humans. That's the way. My God. Oh, man. She's a sweetheart. Well, come on. see. Good. She's fine. Alright, let's press enter. And this is going to be the initial asphalt layer for this portion. So let's see. Taxiways. I just happen to be in the right spot. Amen. Alright, so let's do... Which taxiway is this? Let me get my screenshots out. That would be taxiway Bravo. So Bravo to 1129 incursion. Well, come on, jump up. Jump up. Alright, so we're going to call this 1129 taxiway Bravo runway incursion. Wait, what taxiway is that? Oh, taxiway Bravo Foxtrot. Okay. So this is going to be asphalt. Generic. Move that in. And then we're going to remove ground merging. I'm not keeping any ground merging on these textures because eventually I'm going to be adding layers of dirt and grime and such to the scenery to make these things look a lot more realistic than they do right now. Ground merging is one way of kind of rendering things really quickly, which will allow you to mess around with, say, like a one-dimensional level of texturing, so to speak. Alright, so this is layer 0, and now we're going to add another layer. So in order for me to do that realistically, I'm going to hide this, and then we're going to create another layer immediately with a higher priority. And she's at your card. Let's go ahead and click, and here we go. This is going to be inside. That should be good. Let's clean that up a bit. Actually, a little bit before, but not by much. And then we go over here, put down the concrete. I will admit, it takes, it's not just patience, it's just sometimes strength of character, because it's just like, you want this to come out absolutely phenomenally perfect. I mean, at least I do. But there are some times when you're limited by what the sim can do, and there are some times that you just haven't gotten to that point where you can just crank the things out. I'm trying to, you know, level up in terms of experience and what I want to do with the sim, but it's not easy. I think a part of that involves you saying, no, we're going to do the best we can, and can't do any better than that. So this actually is going to be concrete, but it's not going to be that concrete. It's going to be concrete beige. And we're going to take ground merging away. We're going to make this priority 1. And we're going to call this, 1129 taxiways Bravo Foxtrot concrete. And that is going to be that. And what I need to do is I need to reference the concrete layer here. Excuse me. I need to get rid of this. Book. Okay. Concrete layer here is a tiling of 56 meters, so I need to remember that. And it's a 160-degree texture rotation. Fortunately, one of my friends instructed me on holding down Control to easily type in the tilings so I don't have to spend time messing around with these numbers. And now we have everything in place. Okay. So, the concrete's there, and I can go back to Bravo Foxtrot, draw the surface again, and look at that. Boom. So we've got that tiling in place, which is great. Do I want to adjust the tiling for the concrete taxiway here? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth the time for me to adjust it and create a new layer, but I'll give it some thought. In the meantime, what I need to do is to adjust the priority. Okay, it's priority 1 already. We're going to draw the asphalt underneath it as a 0. Words of a true professionist. How did you know? I have to fight with myself to let go of stuff. It's like, well, if I can just make it better. No, release the thing. Quit playing with the scenery. Let people play with it. But yeah, that's basically what I do. It's like, no, let go. Let it go. This will mess with your mind sometimes. But what makes me laugh is how I remember at the beginning being like, oh, there's so much to learn. How am I gonna do it all? But it takes time, but then you kind of settle in, you get comfortable. I want to get back to building scenery and X-Plane as well. I never finished the first attempt that I wanted to do for that island in Michigan or Wisconsin, whatever it is, where like there are like virtually no cars, and there's a big fancy hotel there. But yeah, I'm trying to get to that point eventually. I'd like to at least. And okay, here we go. Good, good. There may be some additional pieces that I'm going to have to, the additional layers I'm going to have to add here. And I'm not sure. I still haven't mastered things like terraforming. I'm not sure if I ever will. But I may decide to take that on at some point. Probably more with FS 2024. I still want to try to finish one of the sceneries that I've been working on for the past couple of years, Plymouth, for FS 2020, and I might actually give that one away because I want to start fresh with FS 2024, and I might keep up with the free payware stuff on the new platform, depending on what's up. You always fight yourself when you do the film and videos for work. I understand. I understand. There's something that I'm really trying to tell myself and stick to going forward. The simulator is only so realistic. If you've never heard of something called the uncanny valley, it's a terminology that's used to basically describe the phenomenon that happens when you start getting closer and closer to building things that are ultra realistic. You start to notice the imperfections more. So, for example, if you watched um, Tron Legacy when it came out years and years and years ago, if you watched Rogue One, if you watched, I'm trying to think of what other movies. Well, if you watched The Mandalorian season 2, at the end of it, when a certain really, really well-known character, crosses paths with Mando, and you see him, then you know what I'm talking about. That that effect when you get so close to something that's so realistic, but it's so your eye, your brain instantly is like, nah, bruh, something's off. Like the movements are a little too computerized, or the facial complexion is it's like, impossibly perfect or something like that, and you're like, meh. It's like a nice try, but there's that spot where folks are like, no, that's not what I like. So I'm trying to apply that to scenery development. Like, I'm trying to say, look, I'm going to do a good job. I'm going to try to do my best job, but I know I'm not going to do a perfect job. There are going to be things that are going to be out of place. There are going to be things that are going to be not to code. And there's going to be things that flat out are going to look wrong. So the point being, I want to not be worried, not be worried at all about creating the effect that we're going for. So let me go ahead and pull this back, and now we have the surface which we're going to use. So let's go ahead and do coloration, and we're going to do probably a 49. That sounds pretty good. I know. FS 2024 is almost here, and it's kind of crazy. It's amazing. It's amazing the level of graphical fidelity that they're going to introduce with 2024. It the fanfare for 24 is not going to be as huge as the fanfare for 2020 was when it first came out back in like 2020, in summer 2020. But I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it. I have hope to have money to buy a copy, and I hope to be able to start making scenery with it immediately. I'm relatively sure I'll be able to. Whether I'll be able to make the scenery perfectly or not, I don't know. But I'm relatively sure we should be fine. Oh wait, hold on. What's this? This is Mike and Foxtrot. This is Foxtrot. The asphalt that I just put down was for Foxtrot. So, we're going to label this 1129. No. Wrong one. What's this again? Oh, 4 left. Right. Here we go. 4 left. Taxiway. Foxtrot. Asphalt. Asphalt border. And try to keep it named nicely and obviously, and then we can add some coloration. No, we already did. Excuse me. I'm sorry. And we still got to do a lot more. I got to think. I got to stop and think. We need to 3D render the kind of runoffs for the runways, and we need to 3D render the not 3D render. We need to we need to put the aprons down for these taxiways. Now, in one sense, it's like, Digi, quit yapping, build faster. But it does take it out of you. And it's like, are you kidding, dude? Oh, like such a wino. Just build the thing. If you're a creator, you know what I mean. So I don't judge people that work on a little thing and they go, oh, okay, I'm good, thanks. I don't want to. Um, it's 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 focus. It takes focus. It takes attention. It takes commitment. You you have to do the things. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to render which one of these? There's two taxiways at the end of the cargo apron. Did I save a screenshot? Yes. Yes, I did. Standby one. I want to check my Discord, my scenery projects page. Airwalker GT, are you on my Discord? Because if not, I'm going to drop a Discord link in chat tonight. Do I think the flight dynamics will be XP level? I want to say the flight dynamics are going to be better. Are they going to be better than X-Plane? I don't know. However, flight dynamics, depending on the situation, are probably going to be debatable. Are you, as a real-world pilot, going to be able to differentiate in terms of, say, flying different kinds of planes? Are you going to be able to discern the difference in dynamics between X-Plane and FS 2024? I would venture to say you probably will to a point, but there's going to be a level of ambiguity in terms of flight dynamics, which most people are probably not going to pick up that aren't real world pilots. And I don't think very many people are going to care unless we're talking about the folks that are like, die-hard flight simmers that are like, oh, like, oh my gosh, the plane didn't bank 15 degrees left when I wanted it to. This is horrible. Well, yes, limitations, I'm sure. But back when I was, a super serious flight simmer and wanted to do procedures really well and had my crash detection on, I was trying to really simulate the experience. And I do think even those of us that are very much into flight dynamics, there's going to be a point at which we won't be able to detect it unless you actually go out and fly the plane IRL. Now, does that mean you shouldn't want better flight dynamics? No, that's not what I said. But what I think will happen is that I do think with the improvements, however slight they are, it's probably going to be a little bit better. One of the biggest things I hope happens is that I hope they touch up ground handling, because ground handling has been pretty much it's been the meme du jour. People talking about, whoa, this plane's taxiing all over the place. I mean, it is possible in inclement weather conditions, but I think in general most folks would be like, ah, man, I want this plane to just kind of go in one direction and me not have to fuss with it, like, have to deal with issues or episodes of huge amounts of asymmetrical thrust, which don't really happen. But I think there are probably more than a few reasons for that, not the least of which is that there's probably some limitations from the FSX engine that they brought over, which mean that, you can only do so much. So it simultaneously is and isn't something that's going to be a major letdown if they don't address. If they don't address it, guess what? I'm just going to keep piloting the planes the way I usually do. And I think there's a fairly good chance they have addressed either that or other maladies, because there's going to be a legacy flight model, and there's going to be a new flight model. So that's my hope, at least. Because I would like to taxi a 787 and feel like I'm taxiing a 787. Like, legit be like, whoa, this thing is like dense. But again, you know, major problem. DIGI isn't a real life pilot, so guess what? Take my opinions with a grain of salt. And in case anybody is lurking or coming in for the first time, welcome in. I am DIGI Driver. I'm a flight simmer and flight sim streamer. I like to stream scenery development in Microsoft Flight Simulator, or as we call it around here, FS 2020. We're talking about scenery development. We're talking about the imminent release of FS 2024 and how I don't know, like how it's set to hopefully do a better job of shaping the landscape in terms of flight dynamics, performance, scenery. It's going to influence what I do as a scenery developer because reasons, reasons that I don't know yet, but probably reasons that exist. And it's like, oh, Digi's an MSFS fanboy. Yup. You better believe I am. I grew up with multiple variations of Microsoft Flight Simulator over the years. Um, Even going beyond Microsoft Flight Simulator, 2004, older than Microsoft Flight Simulator 98. I've flown many versions of the sim. Do I not fly X-Plane? No, I do. I like X-Plane too. Oh yeah. And um, with the Auto Ortho mod, it can look really nice sometimes. The only thing I don't have for X-Plane 12 right now is the Global Trees mod, but there's also, I think, a slight limitation to you using Auto Ortho and not having appropriate foliage. But I mean, for me, small price to pay for having satellite scenery in the sim again. Oh, listen, I'm not even gonna argue with you. X-Plane takes the cake by a long shot. Their camera system is just better. Period. Like it just is. If you like the camera system in FS 2020, that's great. If you think the camera system in FS 2020 is better than the one in X-Plane, that is your opinion. Personally, for me, I don't believe it is because the X-Plane camera system is so much better. The default X-Plane camera system for me is so much better. So yeah, I'm not even gonna challenge that. You win. Period. I like X-Plane also because there's a certain there's a certain baked in depth that it has that, like, when I jump in the sim in X-Plane and I, grab a plane, configure it, and get set to go, like, when you load in the plane, it's like, okay, we're going somewhere, and you get set up and you go flying. Now, the benefit on the opposite side of the table that MSFS has is if you get started in the sim and you're like, I don't know what I want to do. Well, last week I flew a Dark Star in MSFS across the country from China Lake to Cape Canaveral in like 20 minutes. I think it was something like 20 minutes or like a half an hour, but basically, yeah, it was that fast. So it has activities, it has things you can do. So yeah, there's that. But it's like, I'm pretty sure you know who Conti is, who Continuum is. A friend of the channel and long time, known quantity in the community. Um, and he made a really good argument for multiple flight sims or just for enjoying flight simulation in its many forms. because I think he said once there are days when he doesn't like being in MSFS, that he likes going into X-Plane, and there are days when he doesn't like being in X-Plane, that he likes going into MSFS, and he can kind of bounce back and forth between them. Now, I happen to have MSFS, X-Plane, and P3D, and I haven't flown P3D in quite a while, but I do still fly it. And there's some kind of, for me, a kind of nostalgia about flying P3D, on top of the fact that I've spent a somewhat concerning amount of money in mods for the FSX and P3D ecosystem. And sunk cost fallacy is making me keep the sim because I want to keep flying it and I want to keep enjoying it. And because if I don't, that's going to be a non-zero amount of money down the drain. But speaking to that point in particular, let me tell you this. Don't worry. I'll give you a big fat for instance. I spent, you know, easily, when I got P3D, within 3 months of getting P3D, about 3 years ago, I spent like $500. No lie. I'm pretty sure I spent like $500 in terms of overall mods, aircraft, scenery. And that was on top of the FSX scenery that I already had, and land classes and stuff through Orbex. But I enjoyed it. And, it just got to a point where it's just like, oh, okay, this is about as good as it's going to get for now. And that's it, and I was kind of like on a break from MSFS for a little bit because MSFS was kind of having teething pains with their system updates and world updates. And then I went back to it after a while flying in P3D, and I saw the volumetric clouds and the super, nice graphics inside the interiors and stuff like that, and I enjoyed it. And yeah, sheesh, I have a fourth flight sim on my computer. Actually, it's called Flight Gear Flight Simulator. It's a completely open source, free to download, free to play sim. You never have to pay for it unless you want to get actual physical media, which I think you get like 4 DVDs worth or 5 or 6 DVDs worth of media. So like literally that's up to you if you want to get it. But yeah, I like different experiences, just like I like trucking, just like I like racing. So I'm kind of past the point where I'm like, oh well, like MSFS is the best, and like nothing else compares. Like fight me, like no, no, that's not how it works, bro. Like it's okay. I'm gonna let people have their choice. They're happier that way, Like the less time that I spend arguing for the supremacy of my sim versus somebody else's, the more time I can actually spend flying or scenery development. And that's kind of it. Just let them have their cake, man. It's like, well, like, like X-Plane is like MSFS or fewer calories. It's like, okay, so what? Let them have their sim. Well, MSFS is better than X-Plane for like blah blah blah. So what? We want competition in the industry. We want an industry that keeps competing with itself because we win every single time. It means they understand there's a base of people out there that want to experience something, but they're not going to tolerate, stagnation in terms of developments, stuff like that. And I think about when X-Plane 12 released, and people are like, oh, they're not streaming photogrammetry? Oh, like, goodbye. But I think about it now, and they're like, X-Plane is all about the long play, about having really good flight dynamics, a really, I don't know, robust sim experience. It's not going to have, a whole bunch of like missions for you to go through, but the okay, another win for X-Plane, better default airports. Period. End of story. I'm going home. So every sim has its advantages. Nice. Uh, well, I remember. I remember the last major hurdle that I remember that MSFS crossed was the quote unquote study level sim barrier. Now, okay, public service announcement. Unless you're a real world pilot, and unless you actually spend time in a simulator, staying current and practicing failures and all that stuff, you and I, as sim enthusiasts, will probably never understand the true meaning of a study level experience. We might think we do, and we might get close to it, but it's not going to be bang on perfect. And there's gonna be things about the experience that are gonna not wax well with some or all of us. And honestly, that's okay. I'm not expecting it to. Now, can I tell you that I've had excellent experiences with planes that model so many different systems? Oh yeah. The Flight Factor 757 is a plane which simultaneously absolutely makes me glad I purchased it, and it absolutely memes me on a regular basis because sometimes the generators fail, sometimes the cabin depressurizes, sometimes the plane doesn't want to start, but that's just a part of the experience, and that's fantastic. And honestly, it's kind of like if I fly the Flight Factor 757, like all I'm doing is flying because I have to keep an eye on the plane. If I'm flying the 757 and I'm on VATSIM, that's a job. And that's just it. For me, that's it. Like, that's the experience. Now, I sometimes wonder if I need all the things that I think I need. Like, I'm beginning to wonder if I should start switching over to something like, for example, um, Little Nav Map, or get free charts online that are reasonably close to the level of fidelity in the Navigraph charts, because they'll give you back like 11 bucks a month. But when I think about it this way, when Navigraph took over simbrief.com and they started being able to, more easily update and send out Navigraph maps to the users, to probably the users' tablets, to the airplanes. 11 bucks a month isn't that much when you think about what it provides you. So,
Final approach checklist complete.
That's the thing. Iowa Scott's been coming through 39 months. My friend, thank you so much. I appreciate your patronage. Thank you. Thank you again. Welcome back to the DIGI crew. Enjoy those emotes, buddy. Thank you so much for stopping in today, and hope you had a nice time hanging out with Downwind Sim. I don't know if he's still flying right now, but Downwind Sim is another friend of the channel that was doing some Bush League flying, like backcountry flying, and I got to actually see him fly VR, and it was actually pretty interesting. So I might be doing some digital collaboration in the future with other sim streamers. And in case you guys missed it, this summer I worked with Pilot Edge to help them release the latest version of their Oshkosh scenery. Which reminds me, I might want to start getting in touch with them to see if they have any projects before then. I mean, I know the end of the year's coming up, but they might have something, one or two things for me to do. Who knows? We will see. But Iowa Scotsman, hope you're having a very good evening. Welcome aboard. We are laying down some aprons at Lafayette Regional, Kilo Lima Foxtrot Tango, and hopefully in the not too distant future we'll have the ground layer done, additional layers of like dirt and grime and whatnot, and then we'll be able to paint taxiway lines, get taxiway logic and AI in, and then we'll also be able to hopefully get vehicle traffic going where it's supposed to go and not all over the place. That's something I haven't tried yet, but I'm hoping that actually works. So, we'll see. Lately, though, I've just been trying to um, be prodigious and do what I can. And now I think I'm going to go ahead and just kind of slice right up to there. And zoom out some more. With this taxiway, when I wrap this taxiway up with a basic layer, I don't know. I might either call it for tonight or I might do some other stuff. I was debating actually doing a little bit of work in Blender tonight, but I might wait until tomorrow to do it, just so that I can get back into it. Also, I need to see whether or not I can actually use Blender 4, 4.2, 4.x, whatever version it is, because I want to try to render using the tools that are in that version of Blender, because there's probably been so much that's actually advanced in terms of graphical fidelity and tools and whatnot, and I haven't actually done that because I was using version 2.83 for years, literal years, and for for lack of a better phrase, I kind of just camped on 2.83, and I didn't go anywhere else. So, as you can imagine, I am behind the times. But nothing wrong with admitting that you can benefit from an upgrade, because I think that's what it's going to be, a fairly substantial upgrade. Can I level with you, chat? Can I, like, talk to you for a moment? Digi crew, Digi fam, so to speak. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing with my time and the resources that I have. Mostly because I'm trying to determine whether or not this thing called flight simulation is something I can do as a career. I've talked about this off and on, and obviously I'm not going to go into extensive detail, but I do software development work in real life, and I write software professionally for companies. And I have wondered on a non-zero number of occasions what would happen if I did this on a professional basis. So I'm trying to figure out how to actually get something like this off the ground. And a couple of years ago, I actually did sell an airport on Sim Market and actually made a few bucks. So in one sense, I already am a professional scenery developer that made payware. Kev, welcome aboard, friend. Good to see you. Kev Mikwa is another one of my good friends of the channel, and also Iowa Scotsman is also a friend of the channel and a streamer. So Iowa Scotsman, Kev Mikwa, definitely friends and folks that you can check out if you haven't already done so. Please feel free to do so. I am working on some more groundwork here, my friend, and trying to figure out what the next phase of work is going to be. I'm trying to, and I think I'm going to make a commitment to chat to try to be on here once, like every weeknight, doing at a minimum like a half an hour to 45 minutes of work, just to keep chipping away at it, just to keep chipping away at it, because if I can do that, then I can clear the tasks that have to get done, and then we can focus on getting to the fun parts a lot more quickly. What time is it right now? It is, it's about 10:25. It's almost 10:30 my side, and we're getting on the hour mark, like 8 minutes out. So I'm probably going to start wrapping up for tonight, and I will probably either work on this offline, this taxiway piece, because I'm actually just putting apron textures down so that when I make the taxiway pieces, I don't have to rely on the automatic material generation to draw the taxiway, because I just have the aprons already there to begin with. But once I get this done, I can probably render these areas here. And the reason why I might do that is because I might want to make this look way, 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 way better than what it does right now. But I have to figure out what it is that I want to do, how much time I want to take. But I'm going to name the apron appropriately, because I need to also make a backup of this, of course, and do the things. This is mostly taxiway Juliet. So it's taxiway Juliet, Foxtrot, Kilo, and Hotel. And this is for 4 left and 4 right. So that's what I'm going to name it. 4 left, 4 right, taxiways Juliet, Foxtrot, Kilo, Hotel. Or if you want to be alphabetical, Foxtrot, Hotel, Juliet, Kilo, because those are the letters. And there we go. So if I hit save scenery and I hit the build all, that should build everything. That would probably be a great idea to have so that I don't forget to do certain things, Kev, and I'm kind of being serious. I'm nowhere near a scenery dev pro, but I think I've been around the rodeo more than a few times to know that maybe sharing some time with folks and having a DIGI class on scenery development, it might not be a bad thing. And that is actually what will probably get me building up a channel on YouTube, so that I could make that in a format where you can watch it and then watch it again and watch it again and watch it again, pause it, take time to write down the process. Because when I got started doing scenery development, that's what I did. I watched YouTube videos from this channel called My Physical World and Federico Penotti, and those guys a couple of years ago were the folks that kind of got me going down the path. So I'm going to probably check in on them again and see what they're up to these days, but I also want to probably spend some time learning. To be honest, time is so precious to me right now, and I'm trying to do the best that I can with the time that I have. And when you get to the point where you start noticing how fast your day goes by, you really start to kind of go, whoa, I need to focus on what's important, and I need to stop doing what isn't important. Like, for example, the fact that I was supposed to get in touch with my family tonight, and I completely forgot. So, yeah, there's that. Knucklehead. I'll tell you later. But I can probably do a few things. This here is something that I'm probably going to switch to an overhead flyover cam for, but I'm going to create a polygon before I wrap up for tonight, because I want to see whether or not I can turn this into a nice lake. Thank you. Thank you both. I appreciate that. I think the honest reality of the situation is I want to do stuff like that, and I want to finish going pro, I think there's also the need to make sure that I am not neglecting my responsibilities, neglecting my family, neglecting the things that I know I have to do and the places that I have to be. I want to say I feel like if I were to do this professionally, there would be a different air to going about doing all that's necessary to make sure it happens on a regular basis. There would be promotion, there would be marketing, there would be PR, there would definitely be legal involved, clearly, and there would be more work done to create a better and nicer experience. But, until that day, clearly there's things that I can do, things that I can't. I can't quit my day job and expect to make, a bajillion dollars with the next scenery release that I have because number one, it's not out yet, and number two, even if it was out yet, there's no guarantee that everybody will go, "Oh, a digi release," and instantly drop everything they're doing and go stream it 24/7, and then I make like 50 grand, and like I go, okay, like I can make the next airport now. I've got so many airports that I want to build. It's ridiculous. But there's there's steps that I want to take, and I think streaming is part of the exercise because it's how could I say this? It's kind of like teaching me to, you know, be involved and be awake and listen to people and make things for them. I wasn't even paying attention to Lafayette until I saw it on flightsim.to and it was requested. Because I flew in here and I'm like, oh wait, I wonder if there's scenery for it on flightsim.to. There wasn't. I wonder if anybody's working on it. They weren't. And I was just like, what? Like my friends want this. Let me make it for them. So there you have it. It's just like it's pretty much that. Like this idea that says, hey, let's light the can up. Let's go ahead. Let's go do the things that are necessary to make this work. So that's the point. Creating something worthwhile, creating something that is gonna happen, and doing it not just because you want to release an airport and make money. That's to give you a microcosmic idea of one of the issues in software development in real life. A lot of people go into software development because they go, oh man, I can make a six-figure salary writing software. You know what you can also do? You can wind up getting medicine for ulcers because you're going to be in a career in an industry where you are going to be doing a lot of work for um, over time, probably potentially less and less face value. You're going to be like, why am I doing this? Or like you're going to be like, why am I not enjoying myself more? Well, because the industry changes, because requirements change, and because you're going to be like, well, like I want to do this, but it's kind of tough. Yeah, it is tough. You have to decide. You have to want to be a software developer, or you have to have the discipline to do it. And I got to tell you, after a while, even folks like me are kind of being like, like running out of energy, running out of motivation. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that happens to everybody. I'll tell you what else happens to everybody. You have to decide to have that motivation to begin with, and having a family and having folks that actually support you and that want you to succeed. It's a great way to get past some of the dips in the career spectrum. Because if I was by myself, I don't know if I would have lasted this long as a software developer. But since I have a family to support that cares about me, that wants me to do my best, that I'm trying to do my best for, that's one thing I can do. And maybe that's what flight simulation is going to become for me one day. Maybe. Right now, no. But in the future, who knows? So, in one sense, that is something that I would like to investigate more. because if I can create an income for myself doing something that I enjoy doing, that's nice. Now, do I like flight simulation enough to sacrifice it as a hobby? Because that's also what's going to happen? There's a question. Does the idea of launching a successful business mean that Digi is willing to give up his hobby for it to become a craft? That's that's deep stuff. That's deep stuff. Perhaps questions for another day. But no matter what side of the fence you're on, I will tell you life is rough these days. And even as a follower of Christ, I will tell you that I am not immune from my bouts, my funks, my difficult walks, the challenges that I face as a software developer, the challenges I face in life. None of us is promised tomorrow, and none of us is promised an easy road. We can say that we're going to have one, but it's rough. And honestly, you'd be surprised how difficult it is to do things sometimes. So, all right. Let me, now that I have this done, adjust these polygon points because I think they need to be away from the water surface or where I want the water to be in order for it to actually fill up. Okay, that's probably good. Now, this is a polygon, which I'm going to put in polygons, and I might create a water group for it. Actually, I think I will. So we're going to call this water features. And now we're going to go into water features. We're going to say Lake 1. And we're going to call it water. And it's going to be a lake, not an ocean. Okay, and now we have water. Look at that. Yes, Kev. Yes, it did. And I'm definitely grateful to friends like you that came alongside and said, "Hey, we're here for you." It's beautiful to be able to have friends like that that can come alongside and remind me of the stuff that's really important in life. And I mean, I have a great friend and redeemer in Christ Jesus, and certainly a reminder for me to just keep fighting and keep going. But at the same time, having friends around me to give me some encouragement, that's awesome too. So thank you. Okay, so it ain't perfect and it's hard to see depending on the angle, but you can, to an extent, see right by the edge of the polygon where the water feature comes in. So you can see that line right there where it just kind of like drops off, and there is a kind of buffer zone where you do not have any grass texture. I might replace that with textures. I'm not sure what the buffer zone between grass textures and water is, but I'm going to work on that. But I definitely like having water here because it just kind of makes this nicer to look at, and it might be a nice feature to have in the morning when you take off and you look, or when you land, and just have the light bouncing off the water. Clearly there are some features I need to add still, and I do need to work on more textures, but I think I'm going to go ahead and call it here for tonight. I want to try to finish these ground markings in the next couple of weeks. I think I will probably be taking a day or two off in the not too distant future, and thinking ahead, November is going to be around the corner. Crazy. And I'm going to try to take at least one day off for World Flight. Probably one, you know, just to say I did. And do some flights, maybe even stream some flights, make it like a multi-hour stream. And also, potentially also make it a multi-hour stream for scenery dev, if I do. When FS 2024 releases, if I have the funds and I purchase it, it's going to be a day one scenery dev stream. I'm going to mess around with it and see what I can do, you know, enjoy the scenery, and also make something really small, really simple, really fast, and release it on FlightSim.to. I don't care how ridiculously small the airport is. It can be a grass strip, but we're going to add things to it. We're going to add basic buildings to it. We're going to add features. We're going to try to do one or two custom objects to include in the scenery, and then release it on FlightSim.to either day one or week one, so that we have something that we can offer people to say, hey, welcome to Flight Sim 2024. I'm DIGI Driver. I'm going to be your scenery dev creator, both freeware and payware exploits. I want to go ahead and get my name out there to create experiences for people to actually enjoy, and that's what we're going for. Now, let me mess around with water. Let's see. River is, I think it's got to be deeper. So I think it plays with the depth. I think it plays with the depth. I'm not sure. I don't see it. Pond? Actually, pond might be better. Because it's not really a lake. It's more like a water feature that's kind of formed, probably low-lying area. And this is interesting. It kind of plays with, I don't know if it plays with the grass at all, but we'll see. That's fine. It basically is a pond, really. It's a really big pond, but it's a pond. Or it's a really small lake. I'm going to keep waffling back and forth on which one it is, but basically I'm going to enjoy that. And that's it. Now I can click on Save Scenery. Now I can click on Build All. Now I can back this up once I'm done streaming today. And I think I am going to call it for tonight. I will probably be on for maybe just a half an hour or 45 minutes tomorrow. No audio. Next audio stream might be in Granada. We probably call that a lake. Nice. It is a lake right now, so I'm happy with it. Next talkie stream might be Wednesday, where we're just, you know, cranking out more ground features. It would be awesome if we got all the basic ground texturing done this week, so that we can work on adding layers and adding grime and all this stuff. But we'll do what we can, and probably by the end of October we should have most of the layouts done, and then maybe even work on laying out the fence through that kind of macro thing that they have, where you can just lay out lots of fence really fast. I'm going to try to figure it out, but I don't know. Kev, it's been a privilege having you on stream. My friend, you do not know how happy you make me just by being here. Thank you so much. God bless you and your family, my friend. And, you know, we'll be in touch. We'll definitely be in touch. And in case anybody's watching and you want to be a part of the fun off stream, let me give you an invitation to my Discord. You can follow me on Discord here. And it's kind of like the Disney Vault. I don't publicize that very often. I don't have a Discord command, but I like to invite folks from time to time. I do scenery development chats there. I do life chats there. You know, I talk about my faith and belief as a born again Christian there. You know, like I always tell people, I don't want to force my beliefs down your throat. You have to make your decisions about what you want to do in your life yourself. But I'm going to tell you what I believe, and I'm going to leave it up to you to decide what you want to do with it. Folks, I think that's going to be it. But we have some friends hanging out with us tonight, and I figure you guys might want to see some more Flight Sim stuff on Twitch. So let's go ahead and raid somebody and say hi. Let me see who's on that I can say hi to real fast before I dip for the evening. Let me see who's on that. And thank you, Airwalker. A privilege having you here. Let me go ahead and look and see what we can point you guys to real fast for a evening send off. My friend Burstix is on, flying Gold Coast in Australia. Let's see. Creepy Kirk is actually in Microsoft Flight Simulator right now. So is Chill Maze. And who else is on? My friend Pixel Penguin is doing American Truck Sim. And you know what? I don't know if he's still flying. I'm hesitant. I just want to check him out real quick. I want to see whether or not my friend Down1 Sim is actually wrapping up. Oh no, he's still flying right now. Let's go say hi to Down1 Sim real fast. He's a friend of the stream, and we will surprise him with a raid. So Downwind Sim. There we go. Oh wait, that's exclamation point raid. Ha! Silly Digi. All right, there we go. Folks, like I like to say at the end of every stream, if you want true peace, you want the Prince of Peace, and that's Jesus Christ. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for stopping in this evening, and take care. We'll see ya.